Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Ashley's Treasure, and this video will be another page layout. This one has crows on it, which I do not want. So I was looking through these cards that I got from a thrift store, and I was debating between these three. And these two I really liked, but they were horizontal. I needed one that was vertical, you know, like portrait, because to fit the page, and it just happened to fit perfectly. So this was the winner. This is what I was going to go with, and it was completely blank inside. It was a blank card. And so I got the scrap piece of scrapbook paper that I used on my last layout, which I'll post in the description box below if you haven't seen it. And so I'm going to put it on the top and the bottom because the card isn't as tall as the page. And so I'm just creasing the paper where I need to cut it to line up with the card, which I should have bent down instead of upwards because it made it hard for it to line up. I think you're going to see in a second. I think I took it out and folded it the right way. Yeah, here I'm folding it the other way so that I could line it up where it needs to be cut. Yep, and then line it just right. And then I'm going to use my ruler that that made it look like a duckled edge that I did myself to give that same look, because I kind of liked that look on the page. Because at first I was just going to cut it straight, you know, but I actually liked that look because it kind of made it look like there was snow on it. And so I'm just lining them up to see how it looks, and I like where this is going. So next I'm going to distress everything. I used the iced spruce distress oxide, and so I'm going to do that on everything. Well, and I was debating which side. Of course, I was being picky. I couldn't decide which torn edge I wanted to use, but yeah, I'm just going to distress the bottom and the two sides. Finally, I decided which side I was going to use. I was going to use that one on the bottom because I like that more, the way it torn. So I'm distressing the bottom and the two sides. I wasn't worried about the top because it's going to be covered by the card. And then same thing with this piece as well. And then since I did that, I thought I might as well do that to the card as well, which doesn't make a huge difference because it is close to the same color that is already on the card. And plus the card is kind of slightly that slipperiness, you know, that glossy feel. So it doesn't always, the ink doesn't stick to it the best. And then of course I have to do the inside as well. And then I'm going to start gluing the scrapbook paper down, which I wanted to use my glue stick, which is like, there's none left. And so I was getting frustrated because that paper is very thin, and I don't like using the, you know, water-based glue because then it'll leave texture to it and it won't always lay out flat, you know, because of being such thin paper. But because of my situation, I was all out of glue stick, so I hurried up, put a light amount of my art glitter glue on, and then I hurried up and got one of my wedgie, you know, squeegee tools, and smoothed it out as fast as I could because art glitter glue does dry pretty fast, and I didn't want that dimension to it. So I did a little bit thicker around the edges and then just a little bit in the center because I didn't want it to bubble up. So I did on the bottom and then on the top. And I'm trying to line it up just right before it starts sticking, drying up, and then smoothing it out as fast as I can. Kind of like varnishing it. And then I found another scrap of paper. This is the thicker paper. That was like 110 pound. That was from Hobby Lobby, where it comes with like a pack of 5 different colors of wood grain. One was black, one was gray, one was white, and then one was this light brown, and one was like a darker brown. I really do like the paper, although I wish it wasn't so thick. But yes, I just cut the strip out. I think it's like not even an inch or around an inch thick, and I needed 4 pieces. So I made them 2 inches so they'll all be the same because I don't know how long I need this to be yet with this plan that I have in mind. And now I got them all the same length, and now I'm going to curve one of the sides. And I was debating, I started off with the smallest to see how it'll look with the smallest curved corner punch, and it didn't seem like enough, so I went the next size, the medium, because it has 3 different sizes on there. So I used the medium size corner punch, and I liked that a lot more. That was what I was going for. So I did that on all 4 of them on one side. And now I'm going to score them in half. And since they're 2 inches long, I'm going to score at the 1 inch on all 4 of them. And then I realized because the white, I don't want the white showing, so one will be on the top and one will be on the bottom. So they'll be glued, 2 of them will be glued together. And then I realized that the bottom piece on 2 of them, because only half of it will be shown, so instead of making it so thick, I thought I'll just cut that off since that part won't be shown anyways because it would be glued down. So now 2 of them are 2 inches and 2 of them are 1 inch. And now since everything else is distressed with the iced spruce distressed oxide, I thought I might as well do it to this as well. And also because of it being, it is thick paper, it's 110 pounds, so I didn't want white on the edges, so that way that all goes together and looks like one piece. And then also the part that was scored as well, the bent part. All right, and I wanted to use some brads. And so I was debating back and forth. I have these plain ones, and I wanted to use this kind of like a gunpowder look ones. You know, it's silver, but it's like the dark, you know, antique looking ones. I was debating between these plain ones that I have or else, because I do have these tiny ones that match it, because I want just one big one on the front and then 2 tiny ones on the back. And then I also have these Tim Holtz ones that I've had for some time where they all look like nails. And I was going to use the Phillip head nails looking brads, but then I saw these ones, which I like never use. I don't know what you call those nails. I think those are like for like no, not screws, but like regular nails. You know, I know I've seen ones with a name, but I don't know the proper name for it. But I really liked that design on it. It seemed like it went with it. And so I was debating which one, and I was kind of liking the one on the bottom more because it fits what I'm going for more. The one on the top just looked too tiny. And then I also have these teeny tiny brads that look like nails as well. And so I was trying to find ones the same color and debating which design, because some of them are the same way, where they're some are plain, some are like flathead, and some are Phillip head, you know, screws. And I end up using a flathead this time to go with this. I like the look of it. And so I'm laying them out to see which one I will like more, which one I should go with, trying to get an idea what it'll look like. And I'm going to cut off more on the bottom because it doesn't need that much room. So now that I know what I'm going with, I'm testing it out to see what it looks like. And yeah, that just looks too tiny. So I'm going to go with the one on the bottom. And see, this is what's going to look like with both of them. I like that a lot more. So I'm going to trim off another 1/2 inch. So instead of being 2 inches long, they're going to be 1.5 inches long. And now I'm going to switch to the smallest curved, round corner punch, which is a little tricky because of how short it was now, and do that on both ends. And now I'm just kind of trying to semi-measure and make them at the same distance where I'm going to poke the holes for the brads. And so I got the two, I marked where I want them, and I lined them up just right so that I didn't have to measure twice. I could just do them both at the same time, which made it a lot easier. And then I just kind of went through them and made the holes a little bit bigger for the brads to go through. And then I also distressed the white part as well because I didn't want the sides to show in case any of it wasn't 100% lined up. It wouldn't have any white showing. And now I'm fitting the little brads through, and then I'm pressing them down to make them as flat as I can, like so. And that's what they're going to look like. I like them. They're so cute. And now it's time for the second one. And I forgot that I was going to attach them to the page and then put the brad through on the back of the page so that the brad still won't be shown, and then put the card over it, which you'll understand more further on. But I got ahead of myself and I completely forgot about that because that's why I didn't glue the card on yet. I only glued the scrapbook paper on the top and bottom, but that's okay. This part worked perfectly fine as well. And now I'm going to figure out where I want the big one on the top, and so I lined it up where I wanted it and then poked a hole through both of them so they'll both be at the same spot. And now the same thing, just putting the brads through and kind of flatten them as much as I can. And the legs of the brads, I kind of do, instead of at like a straight line, I kind of put an angle at it, so it's kind of at like a 90-degree angle instead of a 180, if you know what I mean. So it won't be shown. And then I got these little Velcros circles that I'm going to use. And so I'm trying to see what this looks like. Oh, and then now it's time to put the other part on. Now that I got the brad on, this is the other parts I don't want that being shown, so I'm going to have that covered up with the other piece that I had cut off, scrapbook paper, and glued it down really good. And because of the dimension, because of the brads, I kept having to pinch around it to make sure it was stuck really good. And same as the second one. And now I'm going to put the white part of Velcro on these ones. I don't know what you want to, I keep wanting to say buckles, but they're not buckles. Like, what in the world to call these? The little flaps, Velcro flaps? Maybe that's what I'll call them, Velcro flaps. And now pressing that on the second one as well. And they are pretty sticky, but I want to be sure that they're going to be stuck down. So that's why I use my art glitter glue. And then the clear ones are going to go on the card because you won't really see them. They pretty clear. You hardly see it, which I like. And when I was distressing it, it ended up tearing. So this completely changed everything. So I'm going to use this page that I got out of a notebook that I've been using for this journal, because I like it because it's got like a medium color brown lines compared to normally you always get black or blue lines. But I really like this because it kind of goes with all the colors that I got going on, and it's a good size too. And so sadly I would prefer using my glue stick for this, but again, I couldn't get any out. I'm like all gone. I'm all out. So I'm using my art glitter glue, and I'm trying to hurry and line this up just right the way I want it. I fold it so that the two creases would line up just right. I'm folding it down and pressing it down really good because I don't want those bumps, or else it'll be hard to write on top of bumpy glue the journal on. So yeah, I'm varnishing it, pressing it all down really good, getting all the bubbles out, trying to flatten the glue, and you can definitely see it around the edges, which bugs me. See, this is why I like using glue for this instead of art glitter glue. But now I'm just going to be trimming off the extra pieces to fit the card. And then I thought, you know, this would be a lot easier if I fold the card and trim it that way. It's a lot easier. So first I had it completely open. And part of it on the top doesn't always trim for some reason. I always have to use my scissors to snip that off. And then the second side, and now, or the side, and now the bottom. And now it's all lined up just right. And now, of course, since I have everything else distressed, I have to distress this as well, or else it will drive me nuts. So, yep, I'm distressing all that. And now that I'm done, I end up adding some extra pages. So I thought, why not? And of course, I distressed them as well. So sorry, there might be some ink on me. And so I have to sew the extra pages on. So I'm just poking a hole in the center. I'm just eyeballing, I'm not measuring it like I usually do. So I just did it in the center and about an inch from the top and about an inch from the bottom. Got some thread. This is actually for like doing like tatting or like that fine crochet type stuff. So it is pretty thick already. So yes, I go from the inside, in the middle, out, and then it doesn't matter if you go on the top or the bottom. And then skip to I skip the middle and go to the bottom, in, out, and then from the outside, middle, back in. And then make sure the ends, one side's on one side and one's on the other, so that I can tie the string in the middle together. So just make sure everything's nice and snug. And then just doing two little crisscrosses, one in and one out. And then trimming off the excess. And now I got another scrap piece of that scrapbook paper, and I'm going to fold it into 4. So there's 4 pieces, and I'm going to punch this little moose. I haven't used this yet. I got it from a thrift store, which I'm really excited to use it because it'll fit this whole theme that I got going on. And it was a little tricky at first, but I got it. And it actually got my punch stuck, so I had to use a paintbrush to pop it back out so I could get the rest of the paper out. But now I got 4 little moose, and I am going to try lining 2 of them up together. And if you can't already tell, I'm going to use them on the end of the string. I always love doing that. Normally I do like butterflies or something, but I thought this would be perfect for the theme that I got going on. So I glued one down and just kind of placing the string on his back to his tummy, but not all the way so it doesn't show. And then placing the other one on top of it, just right. Which was a little tricky with those little legs and the antlers. And then do it again for the one on the bottom. But I kind of added the string a little bit longer than I wanted to, because once I added the moose, I don't want them sticking out. I don't want the feet hanging out of the card. So I did trim it down a little bit more. And now I'm going to add the second set of mousse on there. They're so cute. I like how they turned out. Now they can just dangle in there. And so now I want to add some stuff to the pages. I got this set of stamps. It has like little baby animals, and I like this little chipmunk. It'll go with the theme that I got going on. And I'm going to try using the same ink, the oxide. Normally I don't stamp with Tim Holtz inks because they don't always turn out the best, but the oxide I get better luck with than the ink. So I tried it and I pressed too hard, and so I'm trying it again. Just kind of let it sit, and that turned out a lot better. So now I feel a little bit more confident with it. Good thing I tried it out first before putting it on the page. And so now I'm trying to line it up just right because I went on the bottom right corner. And they turned out pretty good. And now I got some of the curators little snippets and was going through them and was trying to find what's the same colors going on with that light blue and you know, like distressed antique look. And so I'm gonna put one cluster in the top left, and I distressed this little circle too with the iced spruce. And these I weren't worried about using my glitter glue because they're thicker, you know, it won't show through. And then gonna do like another little cluster on the bottom right. So like every time you like open a page, there's like something on one of them. And then another one on the top left. And I end up not using the last cluster that I had ready to go, because on the next page it has the little chipmunk, so I wasn't worried. And now I'm finally going to start gluing the card down. And yeah, as you can see, this is why I didn't glue the card down yet, because this is when I was going to add the little Velcro flaps through the page, and then it wouldn't be shown because I was going to put the card over it, and I completely forgot, but that's perfectly all right. Because then I decided to just glue the two sides and then the bottom, so that way it can have a nice pocket on the top, so I can add even more. So I'm just lining it all up, making sure it's all stuck well. Make sure there's no glue oozing out. And I like where this is going, and so there's where the pocket's going to go in. And now I'm going to start adding these in there. Just adding some glue and pressing them down really good. Which I still could have added them through the page, but I completely forgot. But that's okay. I still would have glued them and add some extra glue on them anyways. So I wanted to make sure they would stay there. And then just kind of making sure they're about the same distance, you know, from the top and bottom of the card. Make sure it looks good in the back too. And it actually did, I think. It seems like it all went together. Just had to press and hold for a little bit, a few seconds. Although, because of end up adding pages inside the cards, it was really hard to bend them over the little Velcro things because it ended up being thicker. So I wish when I was scoring it, I did one more so that it would have a, you know, kind of like a little gusset to it. But yeah, that wasn't planned. I just was kind of going as it flow, like, you know, one thing at a time. But finally it is done, and I really like where this is going, or how this turned out. Here's a little close-up. This is actually when my camera died, so I'm just going back through and just showing you how all of it turned out. And see the little flat heads, I made sure they were all facing the same direction. And so here's the front. As you open it, here's all the little pages, plenty of room to journal. There's the little moose. Oh, he got caught. They're so cute. I like the moose. And then, like, I always try to make one of them shorter than the other so that they're not the exact same length. And there's a little chipmunk. It's so cute. And you can see the Velcro. You can, like, hardly see it because it's see-through. I really like those. But I like how that looked. I really like it a lot. And then, so this is what it's going to look like inside of the journal. So if you like it, give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.